Hello everyone, welcome back, and we are back in Theme Park Tycoon 2 again. Now, if you weren't here for our last episode, we made this actually really epic piece of theming here, and today we are going to be continuing doing some theming in our steampunk city. However, there is a very exciting update that has been released that we need to talk about. So if you didn't know, let's scroll down in the settings and just hop onto the changelog, because now multiple items can be selected using the select tool, which means we can finally do what I've been wanting to do for such a long time. And that is move this train. You guys might remember when I built this, I absolutely loved this, and I still do. I just don't think it's in the right place, and it's just really in the way of everything. And I still want to use this, but I want to put this somewhere else. So what we're going to do is hold shift, because if you see, that means box select mode, and I can just drag over all of this. Here we go. And hopefully, if I just bring this up, we get the entire train. Yes. All right. So as you can see, I have successfully managed to move the train. We now have this lovely empty space to work with. I'm very excited to build something here. You may be wondering where it's gone. Well, it's up here. So now we've got this really nice space to work with. I feel like we can extend this path a little bit more. Now, I'm not really too sure on the clearance for this. Okay, so the pavement has been extended, and don't worry, it's not going to come all the way to here. This is too close to the ride. I'm going to build some cool stuff here, I think. Okay, so first of all, what I want to do is add a fence along here that sort of curves around just so guests cannot get into the ride area. And unlike this one over here, I want this one to be like one of those really high black iron wrought fences, which I think will look really, really nice. Let's start by adding the posts, and then I want to add these little ones in between. And in fact, before I go any further, I want to color this all black, because otherwise this is going to be a pain to color in the future. I also want to add a base across the bottom of the fence. We also need the cross beams at the top as well. All right, so now we've got the fence in. I want to cover up this pavement by building a sort of mound of rubble. And I'm going to do that by using these rocks and scaling them down very, very small. This is probably going to take me a while. I also want this to be black, so it sort of looks like a pile of coal. That's, I think, what I'm going to go for here. Okay, so I've got one section of the mound, I guess, and this is looking pretty good. So I am going to continue. I'm going to do the whole thing and see you in probably quite a while. All right, and we have ourselves a nice pile of coal. Now you might be wondering, why is this end left open? And that is, well, I want to have this as a little sort of crate. You'll see what I mean. So I'm going to grab a big long primitive and place it here, and then a wedge on top of that. And finally, one more block at the back. Then, if we color this in a nice concrete color, we've got ourselves a sort of divider for where this coal can be stored. You may be wondering, what is this coal for? Well, I want to build a big sort of steam burner tank thing over here. So that is what we're going to do next. First of all, let's add a base. And to start, I just want 2 cylinders. I'm going to add some smaller cylinders inside these ones, and then I'm going to connect them with a horizontal one. I'm going to take one of these quarter cylinders and copy it across a couple times to make these sort of ground tank looking things. And I also need to extend the base of the factory. Now, I definitely feel like these tanks should be attached by some vertical piping. And then I also want to build a structure over the top of the track. So I'm actually going to grab some of the stuff we used last episode. And of course, we can't forget the details at either side. And of course, we have to add the bolts. Now, using the new tools, hopefully what I can do is multi-select all of this. And now I should be able to just copy this. Oh my gosh, that is so handy. You have no idea. That's so nice. So I'm going to copy this quite a lot of times. And now I've got some supports for a structure over the top of the roller coaster. I want to add these little base supports for the main structure. We're definitely going to need some cross beams, as well as some horizontal ones. And now I'm going to copy this beam again and use it as a horizontal pole. All right, so now we've got 2 towers and then the top that's going to go on here. I just want to test the roller coaster to make sure that that is enough clearance. Okay, here it comes. And yeah, there's plenty of room. Okay, we're all good. So I actually didn't really have any plans for what should go up here. I just thought it would look really nice if there was something to go under. So I think for the moment, I'm going to leave it like this. And if you guys have any ideas what you think could be up here, then leave it down in the comments. But to be honest, it's still a cool structure right now. Anyway, I think we should get back to finishing off this coal factory. Okay, so I've decided to go with a sort of lighter color for these tanks, but the pipes definitely need to be a more gray. I'm also going to use these as connection points, and then I'm going to get these sticks and hopefully rotate them around the tanks like this. And I also want to add an edge to this tank like this. All right, and now I've got the pattern on one side. I just need to copy this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times. Okay, so now the detailing is done on these tanks, we can start finishing off this structure here. So I want this to be the boiler. So what I'm going to do is delete the placeholder we have, add back in the base and the top. Then I'm going to manually add a back to this. Then at the front, I want it to open out into this little grate thing, so we get a nice view at the front of what's going on in here. We'll sort out the colors later, but what I want to put inside here is like a massive fire effect. So adding a strip like this would look good. However, I need like the depth, and to be honest, this is already 3,000, and I want like a whole row of them, so I'm not too sure. So I'm just going to place this one fire emitter in for now when we get enough money. There we go. And when I get more, I will fill it up so it looks like a proper burning fire. But first of all, I just want to add a little bit of coal in there so it looks like we're actually burning something. So there we go. We've got some coal in there. And I feel like we should definitely get some color into this. You know, I actually don't mind that. I think that's quite nice. And then obviously the bars have got to be black. I'm also adding a couple lights in here to make it look a bit more bright. I'm also going to add another connection point on top of the boiler. And then I'm going to color in these chimneys. So now I think we need to go around and add all the necessary details, such as another connection point down here, one at the base of this furnace, and to be honest, at the top as well. And we want the same over here. I want these cylinders added at intervals along this chimney, and the same here too. We should definitely add a couple more pipes just for some extra detail. All right, so I've added a ton of details around this sort of main tower and finished off this second tower, and we are almost done for today. So what I want to do now is, of course, connect it up to sort of the rest of the area by these pipes along here. Of course, we all know by now that these pipes literally go everywhere and wherever we build. I feel like today I want to add like a proper system, like network of pipes, because I think that would like be really cool tying this whole entranceway in together. And I am also going to use these pipes as a coaster support because we really do need a support for this roller coaster. Okay, so now I've got my main network of pipes, I now have to connect them with these orange balls, which is going to take probably quite a long time. Okay, I think that is every single connection covered on the pipes, and this is looking really, really nice now. I really like this for a custom support. I think it works really well. Yeah, so I really like how we've got the pipes to work as the sort of track support, and I feel like we only need to add maybe one more down here. Which in fact, I'm going to do that now. And that support is now in. Obviously, as we expand, I'll do more supports and stuff. But for now, I think we are almost done, except for I want to add a little bit of clutter down here. So maybe a couple of barrels. 100% I've got to add some oil barrels. I know you wouldn't find cannonballs at a coal power plant, but I feel like they look good and they just add a little bit of extra clutter. And we've definitely got to add some metal crates. And the very final thing I want to do is extend this fence round. However, I don't want it to be this really tall fence. I want it to lower down so that the guests can look over at the scenery. I got rid of the barrels and stuff because I didn't think it was working. I definitely like the oil barrels, but let me see if I can add some other things. Maybe some track sunken into the ground might look quite nice. Maybe just some more coal in the floor is what we're missing, actually. Yes, there we go. That's looking better. And there we have it. The lower part of the fence is done, which means this entire build is done. I'm really happy with what we did today. I feel like this is a great addition, and I will obviously be moving the train in a later update. I'll be putting it somewhere, so don't worry, it's coming back. But yes, so anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.